Kids, also Gabby.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I was born and raised in the big city. We were fed up with all the crowds, congestion, and disassociation that comes from being a city folk. My husband and I finally made up our mind that we had enough of the traffic and pollution and made our way out to the high country. This was our view then, and this is our view now from our front door. And this, wide open skies and clean air. We are learning to grow as much of our own food as possible and raise our own meat. And we're also teaching our kids where our food comes from and to respect the animals who feed us. The purpose of this blog is to share our journey to self-reliance, our mistakes along the way, and our triumphs. If you like what you see here, you can also visit us on Facebook, YouTube, or you can send your questions to tinyseeds4a brightfuture@gmail.com. Thanks for stopping by. Hi, I'm Kate, and this is the very first video that I'm making for my fantasy farm, Tiny Seeds for a Bright Future. This ranch of ours has actually been in the making for, well, going on pretty close to 15 years. And that's a long time because that took all the time of research, of having our jobs, of leaving our jobs, of taking the leap into finding that piece of property that we wanted to build our ranch on. And when we first moved out to the ranch, I wanted to do everything. I wanted to have pigs, I wanted to have goats, I wanted to have rabbits, I wanted chickens, I wanted to grow crops. And I guess that was a good learning experience because I found out right away what my limitations are. And that was when the kids were about 2 or 3 years old, and they're now 9 and 10. That was a really great learning experience, and it's been a while since we were in that situation. So now I'm going to have another opportunity to do this, and we're just going to start off small this time. Actually, I've been doing a lot of research in aquaponics, and I want to do that. The chickens, this will be my third try to do the chickens. I'm not going to do goats right away. I might do them. I don't know if I will because, frankly, goats were a lot of work as far as you have to have really good pinning and fencing. Otherwise, they're just all over the place. And they are so naughty. They are always trying to find something to get into. So I think chickens is something I can handle right now. It's been 10 years since 2008 when we left the ranch and went back out and started working again. And now we're going to try this again, not on the property, but at a smaller scale. We've been living in a rented home here in Cortez, and I did chickens last year. And they were great, except for I had a friend who came and crashed at my place with her 2 kids and her 5 dogs, and they absolutely just killed all my chickens. I had 3 or 4 left after that, and I ended up giving them to a friend just so that they wouldn't suffer the same consequences as the first 6. So I had 10 chickens, and they ate, well, they didn't eat them, they just killed them. 10 of them, or 6 of them. So like I said, this is a learning curve for us. I had chickens before, and they did really well. These chickens would have been fine if they weren't murdered. I had a fox out there, I had a hawk out there, I had a skunk out there, so there was a lot of predators that I had to worry about. And I think I know a little bit better how to deal with that this time. The big difference here is that we're going to be leaving this house soon. I have chickens coming. I have chicks coming, which 25 chicks coming, and I have a grow out brooder pin for outside. Last year I kept them in a big plastic bin with a heat lamp on it, and that was fine because there was only 10 of them. So I'm going to have to figure out something to do in a bigger scale for them to keep warm, you know, once they get here in about a week. So I'll do some video about when they come and what we've worked out for them to stay warm here in the house. I'm really excited about getting chickens again because they are a lot of fun. They're not a lot of work except for when you have predators and you have dogs. But other than that, they're very easy. They're very entertaining. They're not hard to keep up. And I've learned a couple of tricks as far as how to keep them fed and watered more regularly. That's my husband. So I'm going to take a pause right here, and I'm going to go take you outside and take a look at the chicken coops, or the grower brooders, okay? Okay. So here's our backyard mess. Of course, it's a mess. We just had a really rough winter. We actually put up this hoop house last year. However, under the circumstances with the friend and the dogs, we never got it off the ground because they were just too destructive, and by the time we got them out of here, it was too late in the season and we had other things that we wanted to focus on. All of this stuff needs to be cleaned up. However, like I said, we're going to be leaving. This all had vegetables in it at one point. This is my husband's stockpile of wood that he picks up and salvages old wood, so that when he makes his projects, he uses free wood that he finds in various places. Now this one here, this is actually the brooder pin that I was talking to you about. It's my husband's design. It was actually the frame of an old futon couch, and maybe you can see it better if I go in here. You might be able to see that was like the sides of the arms of the couch, and it kind of like it had a futon in it, and you just pull out the frame. And he removed all the metal part and just used the wood part. There's a metal brace right there, you can see. So what he actually did, he built this this covering frame up here on top so that the chickens couldn't jump out. And then he put the sides on the side, and we have chicken wire. When they first came out, we had chicken wire across all this, well, 2/3 of the bottom of this. So and we put down some hay there, or some straw, so they could walk around out there and their poop would fall down to the bottom, and we can just rake it up or carry it away. Now this little compartment here is a frame where he actually had like a metal liner down there that he just rested on there, and he used a plastic tote bucket that he placed over the plastic, and he cut some holes in the side so the chickens can go in and out. Let me see if I can explain this a little bit better. The metal what do you call it, plate that goes on the bottom of that chicken coop over there, and that tote, well, one similar to it, would just have stuff cut into the side here, or holes cut in the side, so that the chickens can go in and out. Now this design, that actual tote that is there, you can see the electric cord coming out the side. Let me see if I can get a better shot. He drilled a hole in there, put the electrical cord through there, and if I raise this, in fact I might just do that. These are my seeds. They're not doing too well. It keeps getting hot and cold out here. These don't even have seeds in them yet. But this is the plate. Now this here is the heating unit that he placed inside of this tote. And he would put this whole tote underneath the bottom of that chicken coop with the metal part on the top, like so, and this would be in the coop. And then another metal tote, plastic tote, would go over it like so, inside the coop. So the heating lamp was heating up the bottom of that metal plate, and the chickens are in the tote, except of course there's holes drilled on the side so they can come in and out. And that was all inside of this growing pen, and it was placed right there. So they can go in there and get warm, and then they can come out here through the holes and walk across here with the chicken wire and the straw, and I would keep their water and food over on this side. Now on a warm day, this frame on the top was perfectly fine. They get some sunshine, and so, but on a wet day or a cold day, I would drape like a tarp over this to keep them dry and keep them warmer. Now when they got older, we pulled down that chicken wire on that one half here, and I put a ramp down from that little ledge there down to the bottom, and I put chicken wire along the bottom of this frame so that they can hang out underneath there and scratch around and everything. So we'll probably do some updates on this, maybe fix a couple of things that weren't working so well. I'm going to have 25 chicks, and I think that's a little bit not enough room for this this design here, but we'll see what happens. I'm thinking I might sell a majority of those chicks when they grow out, maybe 4 months old, and just keep 10. We'll just have to find out, because like I said, we're leaving, and I don't really know how much room I'm going to have where we're going, so it all depends on that. Now this tank here, I just bought this. I bought this from a couple in the neighborhood who actually do aquaponics. So it's already set up. It has the holes drilled right there for the water intake and output. It's a 60-gallon tank. So I'm thinking I might, in the beginning when they get here, because they'll be little tiny things, I might put them in that with some pine shavings or some straw and put the heat lamp over that. Maybe indoors. I haven't figured that out yet. But whatever I've set up, it has to be temporary for right now until we settle into the new place. Okay? Well, anyway, that's all for right now. I really like this design that my husband came up with. So I may keep this, or even maybe improve on it in future years, so that we can get the chicks and grow them out in here. But we'll see what happens. Okay, well, thank you. We'll see you soon.